You've spent 6 months learning a new skill, but halfway through, you realize it's not going to help your career the way you thought. Do you finish anyway? You're 2 years into a relationship that stopped feeling right months ago. Do you stay because of all the time you've invested? You bought an expensive kitchen appliance that looked amazing in the ad, but it's been sitting on your counter for months, taking up space, and you force yourself to use it occasionally to justify the purchase. If you've ever continued down a path simply because you had already invested so much, even when every fiber of your being knew it was wrong, you've fallen victim to one of the most powerful cognitive biases in human psychology, the sunk cost fallacy. And here's the scary part. This bias is costing you things far more valuable than money. It's costing you your time, your energy, and your chance to build something you actually care about. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what this bias is, why our brain is wired to fall for it, and most importantly, how to break free from it so you can start making decisions based on what actually serves you, not what you think you should do. The sunk cost fallacy occurs when you continue a behavior or endeavor because of previously invested resources, even when stopping it would clearly be better for you. This fallacy is treating these irrecoverable costs as if they matter to your future decisions. They don't, but your brain screams at you that they do. Here are some reasons why this disconnect happens. First, there's loss aversion. We tend to experience losses as heavier than equivalent gains. So walking away right now can weigh a lot heavier than no change at all. Second, there is effort justification. When you've already put in real time and effort, your brain has a strong incentive to believe it was worth it. Social psychology research on cognitive dissonance shows that people often reevaluate an outcome more positively when they had to work harder to get it. Third, there's stress. When you're busy, depleted, and running on fumes, you're more likely to avoid discomfort and default to whatever feels familiar, the action you've been doing all along. On top of what takes place in our brain as part of our biological wiring, there are also some commonly held beliefs that make acting on those sunk costs more difficult. Myth number 1. I can't stop now. Winners don't quit. This is perhaps the most toxic myth. Angela Duckworth, the leading scholar on grit, describes it as perseverance and passion for long-term goals. I made a video diving deep into the concept of grit. I'll link it up here and in the description box below. As much as grit is a great skill to have, it's not stay no matter what. Continue for the sake of continuing can trap you in what passion researcher Robert Vallerand calls obsessive passion, the kind that can lead to rigid persistence and conflict, colliding with your health and relationships. Strategic quitting is what separates successful people from struggling ones. Winners stop investing in the wrong things so they can focus on the right ones. Myth number 2. Sunk cost is only about money. Emotional investment and identity commitments can create even stronger sunk cost effects than money. The project that's your baby. The career path that defines your identity. The relationship where you've shared everything. These are the hardest to walk away from and often the most important to reevaluate honestly. So, how do you know when you're falling into this trap? Here are some warning signs. Listen to yourself. If you catch yourself saying, "We've come too far to turn back now. I've already invested so much. I can't let that time or money go to waste." These phrases are signals that you might be justifying continuation based on the past, not the future. Check your emotions. Do you feel defensive when someone asks you questions about your project? Do you avoid analyzing it objectively because you don't want to know? Does thinking about quitting create a knot in your stomach that has nothing to do with the actual future consequences? That's your emotions trying to override the realization of evaluating whether you're in sunk cost territory. So, how do we actually do this? Practically, here is the simple framework you can use next. Notice the sunk cost signs. When you feel that internal pressure, I have to continue because I already invested so much. Name it for what it is. Ask yourself this one question. If I hadn't already invested anything, would I choose to start this project, relationship, activity today, knowing what I know now? This is called a fresh start test. That's effective at cutting through all the emotional noise. It forces you to evaluate based on current reality, not past commitments. If the answer is no, if you wouldn't choose this path starting from zero today, then continued investment is likely to be wrong. Here are a few more diagnostic questions. What else could I do with the resources I'm about to commit? This forces you to see opportunity costs. Am I continuing because the future prospects are genuinely good, or because I don't want to waste what I've already spent? This leads you to analyze the realities you're currently in, which may have changed since the time you last made the decision. What would I tell a friend to do in this exact situation? We are much more rational evaluating other sunk costs than our own. Evaluate what you'd invest going forward. If I continue on this path, what will I spend? And what will I realistically gain? This is the entire shift. You're moving from what have I already spent to what is the next hour actually buying me? Extract the information. Before walking away, you can take the value that is there. What did this teach you about what you want, what you don't want, what you misjudged, and what you'll do differently next time? This is how you convert sunk cost into learning. So the experience leads you to something far more valuable, better judgment for next time. Time box the decision. If you're not ready to stop right away, set a review date. Give yourself a clear window and decide in advance what you would need to be true for you to keep going. What outcomes? What evidence? What progress? If those decisions aren't met by the time you review, you'll let go of the sunk cost and move on to the next valuable project. Here's what happens when you truly internalize that sunk costs is something to let go of. You experience profound psychological freedom. You can make decisions based on what genuinely serves your current and future self, not what you think you should do based on commitments your past self made. Your resources flow to where they create real value. That time you were spending hate reading that book, now spent on something you actually enjoy. That energy defending a failing project, now available for something promising. You learn faster. When you're not invested in proving past decisions right, you can absorb feedback objectively. Each stopped project becomes a valuable data point. Your learning accelerates dramatically. And here's the big one. Counterintuitively, you experience less regret. The person who steps away earlier often feels relief later. The person who stays out of inertia is more likely to look back and feel stuck in a situation they outgrew. If you remember one thing from this video, let it be this. The money is already spent. The time is already gone. Now the question that matters is, what is the best use of your next hour, your next dollar, your next unit of life? If this video helped you see the sunk cost trap more clearly and gave you a way to make better decisions going forward, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and the newsletter. Links are in the description box. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.